Turn on the torch, light up the flame. Time to melt some glass, my friends. There you are. Here I am to explain, to teach, and create again. At the moment, I have over 800 subscribers, and thank you very much. I do appreciate you being there. If it wasn't for your support and your efforts of saying that you like what I do, I would have probably stopped a long time ago. I'm glad that you continue to give me questions. Just remember to click that like button over that way, I think it is, and click subscribe over here on this side somewhere, and keep sharing and caring. Thanks for being there. Hi, John. I'm just I just happened to go live just right now, and I'm glad that people are out there watching already. Thanks for being there. Um, Tonight, I'll have an up for grabs where you can just sort of uh, give me a request and I'll try to do it. And also, I uh, wanted to show you a pile of angels. I left some stuff in my oven a little bit longer than it should have, and it didn't turn off, and it made quite the pile, as you could say. And I wanted to show you accidents as well as my good coming. So here we go. Let me see about switching over to the other camera. There we are. And that's probably the best angle to show you these things. And oops, wait. Uh, there we go. Save. And these are all sort of fused together, but you can still tell what they are, which is pretty cool. There was a couple other ones, like here's a lizard and an angel that got sort of stuck together. There was another one that was in the pile that I've already sort of taken off, and I'm going to be uh, fixing a loop on the nose of this guy, and he had, the where he had fused to other things. I broke off a couple of legs, and I've replaced the legs already, and actually got him back up and running. Well, not really running, but you get the point. Again, I will do a quick couple of things. Let me also see if I can't. Where is it Where is it when you really, really want it? Oh, here it is. I've got the lens for the camera right here, and there we are. I think we're live, and with the didymium lens over it. And today I've actually got on my camera on my torch stand, I've got a magnifying lens. Surprisingly, it just sort of slides right in there like boom. Ain't that pretty? And I had it better. There we go. And that's so when I'm doing the little teeny tiny things that I do, and I think that's where I'm going to start leaning towards doing a little bit more of lately, because I really do like that feeling of no job too small. There's a lot of things that's too big for me to do, but too small is a different story. Anyway, let me I have been reorganizing also at this point in my you can't tell because you can't tell. But it's me sorting where some of my rods are going, where all I have to do is just turn and reach for it. Let me see if I can give you a quick demo on that. Here we go. Oops. These are the rods that I use. Let me scoot back here. I have two-tier layers where you got the blues, and then I've got some greens, and I've got some multicolors back here. And then I've got the clear rods to reach for, and smaller clear rods, and then some tubings and stuff like that. And this is stuff that if I go to a show, all I have to do is just grab and I'm gone, which is a cool thing. Um, and also, hey, cup holder. Smooth, real smooth. Sorry about the shakiness. but let's get this back on where it was before. And sometimes you got to organize your mess, I guess you could say, or your table that you feel comfortable, that you could sort of reach for something at a moment's notice and know where everything is, does help. And to have, uh, I like it standing up because when it's laying down, you sort of go, where, it was right here a second ago and you can sort through it. But with it standing up like that, you can sort of, not have to knock a lot of stuff out of the way. You can move it around and you've got it there really, really quick and easy. Um, Hi, Silver. Nice to know that you're there. Yeah, I'm glad that I hit 800 subscribers, and I would like to try to see 1,000 before Christmas. And just tell all your friends and tell your neighbors, and oh yeah, you can tell a woman, and that usually gets it a little bit further down the line, doesn't it? Yeah, right. Um, Telephone, telegraph, tell a woman, how to get your message across really fast. Okay. Now, what I'm going to start with is I needed to put a loop on the tip of this guy really, really quick. And then from there, I'm up for grabs. Uh, Give me a suggestion on what you'd like to see me do. Uh, Thank you for that, for the root. And forgot to turn on the concentrator. Might help if you want to light up the torch and melt some glass. There we go. Let's get that under control. We're only going to do a single flame here with this. So that's all we really need at the moment. Oh yeah, with that magnifying lens, it shows it almost bigger than it needs to be, but it's pretty cool that way, in that you can tell what needs to be done, and you can make it a little bit smaller, but it looks bigger in the at what you're doing it with anyway, because I have that magnifying lens right in front of my didymium lens that I have in front of the torch. It's sort of like a heat shield. This is sort of like my heat shield slash didymium lens all in one. I wear trifocals, and to figuring out which loop, and plus on top of that, I wear, I mean, the only didymiums I have available at the moment until I get another pair, I gave my good pair to my son Brian, who needed them. Um, he when he was here this summer, I gave him one of my torches, my national uh, 6B, and a couple of tips, and uh, one of my spare oxygen concentrators that I had, and now it's up to him to start melting some glass. Now, with that, um, could anybody give me an idea what you'd like to see done? Also, I wanted to show you. I'm going to have to go into the house and do this, but I left my. I recently acquired uh, a UV flashlight, and you'll have to be patient with me. I'm going to. The type of torch I use right now currently is a Smith Smithmeyer. That's a good name. Uh, is a Carlisle. It's uh, Carlisle CC. If you bought one straight off the shelf, it's about $1,500. And I don't use it to its full potential. I'll admit that right now. I basically do tiny things with it, and I am so used to doing that using the center flame and not using the outer flame to its full potential. But I am learning, and I have gotten to the point where switch on I have a second oxygen concentrator, and eventually I know that I'm going to be having a third oxygen concentrator to help melt the mix. Let's just put it that way, and to get bigger pieces going. It's just one of those things where I've not been getting out of my comfort zone, and I need to. I've learned that since I've been going over to my student's house, Adam, who has a GTT Phantom, I believe it is, and it kicks butt compared to this thing. I could sit here and melt what I'm doing into a puddle in a matter of seconds compared to me just sort of touching it and doing it as I go. I also still have another National 6B torch uh, that I have it has a macro, I mean, it has a double or a double aught tip on it anyway. And that helps me to do the really, really tiny stuff that I'm going to be doing more in the lines of doing like quartz figurines to go inside marbles for go inside marbles. And I call those quartz figurines a impossible possibility because quartz and Pyrex are not supposed to mix, but the way I do it, it can come out and have, I guess you could say, uh, good results. Anyway, uh, and I am going to stop for just a second and run in real quick. And I've got a couple of marbles I wanted to show you that I did with UV reactive glass in them, and also this tiki man that I did with. Oops, there he is. The tiki man that I did with UV. He looks kind of green and ugly as he is, almost like Incredible Hulk. Okay, again, if you have an idea of something that you'd like to see done, give me a request and I'll see about doing it really, really quick. But I'm going to run into the house. It won't take me more than a minute or two, and I'm sorry about the uh, the delay time, but it shouldn't take because it's sitting right on my dining room table, and I was going to bring it out to begin with, so it's ready to go. And as most of the time when I do lizards or frogs or any reptiles, I do 2 toes, and you can get um, complicated and do 3 toes if you wanted to. But I love, in this case, I call them um, salamanders because I can get away with it. There we go. A 2-toed salamander. There we go. Always working it. Now, when I do these lizards, I've probably told you once or twice before, I usually curve them. And the direction that I curve them in, I try to splay out these legs a little bit so it can curve in that direction quite nicely. And I'll show you. Here we go. There it goes. Heat it up a little bit more and curve it a little bit more. There we go. And then I usually curve, and I just pick a direction, and sometimes it's right, sometimes it's left. And whichever direction I curve the body, I usually lift and turn the head in the opposite direction because that's usually the case because they sort of, wiggle back and forth as they're going along. And when, they step one direction, they're looking to where they're going to put their feet next. So that's the way I think that response. Now, questions, answers. Um, Again, just ask and we will try to do our best to get it done. Glad to see that there are a few people watching. And I know I don't usually, lately it has been where I just sort of jump into the scene, and I need to start giving you guys a little bit fair warning and also a certain day of the week that I'll be doing it so that you won't, so that you can plan ahead. And I'm sorry for that. If you guys would like to sort of give me suggestions on certain days of the week, we can probably do it around 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock any day of the week. But at 8, I have to. About 7 would probably be the perfect one. That way, I could make it about an hour and some odd if I had to. But at 8, um, I'd have to stop at 9, and because usually I work from 10 to 7 shift at at uh, at Walmart here in Moorhead area. And if you happen to be going by Walmart and you happen to see this old gray-haired guy doing his glass and want to say hi, oh, not doing his glass, but usually pushing a broom or something like that around there, just say hi. It wouldn't hurt. Okay, and the tail, I again do the opposite thing where it wags in the opposite direction of which way I put the body in, and that works out well. Again, now's the time. If you have a good idea what you'd like to see me next. Oh, and by the way, you can see that this is done with diachroic strip, and I will put a correlating URL that I have done before down in the information area to give you an idea of how to make these diachroic strips, which is pretty cool. And they do come in handy. And even if you're new to doing dichro, uh, the results are, as you can see, very sparkly, glittery, and it gives you a chance to really, try to play with your diachroic glass without screwing it up, to say the least. Okay. Is there any way to get notifications when you go live? Yes, if you click on next to the subscribe button, the notification, um, anytime that I go live, there will be a notification of it. Uh, my my daughter has it on hers, and sometimes she's here in the chat room with us saying, "Hi, Dad," and some of her friends I think also have that notification. And I'm probably thinking that even Silver Eagle does, or I don't know how you guys get it just by chance. Okay, I'm going to be back really, really quick, um, within 2 minutes tops, and I will show you some what the UV reactive stuff. Hold it just a second. Got to go get that flashlight and some marbles I wanted to show off. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Okay, let's see. Now it's going to get a little dark because, oops, I better turn that off too. Because the glass itself doesn't react to bright light. But here we go. Here's a couple of them I want to show you real quick. This one has a lot. Trying to find the right. Oh, there you go. Let's do this. There we are. This one has a lot of swirls, almost to the effect of some very nice twists and turns. I wish that the lenses on these cameras would do them justice so that you could see high resolution. And the other one that I have that's pretty neat, let me see if I can get it at the right angle for you. Um, there you go. You can see the sort of layers in that it looks pink, but it's a very vortex swirl from top to bottom. There we go. Right there. Yeah, there you go. You can see those vortex swirls going on. Really, really cool. Um, and that tiki that you saw earlier, here we go. Blah! Oh yeah, it's sort of like too much glare going on when it gets straight on. But there you go. There you go. Perfect. It's surprising that it has to take a little bit of effect going on. Okay, UV reactive, you've got Illuminati, and you've got several others, and I couldn't tell you the actual names right now, and I'm sorry for that. But there we go. Let's put back on. Oh, the bright light! Ah! um, and that gives you some ideas of putting them in some things. Again, that is to your own discretion because Illuminati is actually what's referred to as uranium glass in the older days, but they just call it Illuminati now because it sounds better, more politically correct, I guess you could say. See, Eagle does get that notification. So yeah, you click on uh, down about, no wait, it's over here somewhere next to the subscribe button, and you click on that, and uh, there's a thing to click on the notifications, and you will get the result of that. Now, any request, anybody got an idea that you would like to see me do, and I will do it very, very quickly. I also plan on trying to be back on tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm going to try. If I don't, I'll send you guys a notification of it. Um, but to tell you that of the things that are coming up, and I also, you know, a lot of Christmas ornaments are coming to be due because, of course, it's 'tis the season. Ha 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 ho ho ho. Um, Now, earrings are a good thing to be doing for people, pendant pieces, angels, Christmas ornaments. One of the, Christmas ball, one of the types that I do, and here's one very, very similar to it, and I haven't, it's, this one's basically a praying angel. You really can't see it because the warp of there we go, the glare of the glass, of course. Um, but in there, inside the ball, and the coolest thing about it is the inside of the angel is actually the outside. Sort of dimples in and goes into the ornament itself. I think I did a video on this, and I will put it in the description down below, um, just to give you that. I better make a list of these because it's getting to be fast and furious here, isn't it? Um, so, with that, I'm going to do just a small Christmas ornament type thing. Um, and I might even put some silver fume to it. Uh, but you've got to realize that you could do it in a bigger size. Let me light this thing. But I'm doing a miniature version, something that if you got going good on them, you could probably make some nice Christmas ornaments. And if you got, being able to replicate the same basic style over and over, you've got um, a way of making a pendant and earring set that looks very, very nice. Yeah. Okay. Now, first of all, let's do this. Now, when I do, I'm going to sort of what you would do like you would be doing with woodworking, because I'm going to thin it out, do some Marias and also some other other things going on here. First, I'll thin it out like so, and that's hollow all the way to the tip of that point, and it will come in handy in just a second. But you know, I'm going to take this out of the mix because I need to see what I'm doing in the biggest size, the regular size at this point. Okay, blow a little bit of the ball. There you go. Now you can go down about halfway of that stem. Blow another little tinier one. It's fun trying to keep your center as you're doing this. And you can see that I have a little bit off center going on, but at this size, it's not really that bad. You just have to be in control of it. Um, I'm going to thin it out and make a little bit of a Maria going on. Thin it out some more. And if you wanted to, you could make nothing but this size type Christmas ornaments for a whole Christmas tree. Or if you know people who have tiny trees, here we go. Here's the Maria. Boom. And you just sort of bring it. And then right here is, I'm going to add a little bit more, like a little bit of color. I'll put some spikes on around the balls here real quick. And I'm going to call this one quits, believe it or not. Um, Here, let's put blue's a nice color to put on these guys. Here we go. Put about 5 or 6 spikes. One. Make sure you're sealing those on there instead of just sticking them. Because if you don't, the stress will crack them and break them right at those spots. So make sure when you're heating it on, you're heating the spot, then touching it too at the same time. It will make for a better product in the long run. Okay, now let's uh, do a couple more dots down here on this smaller ball. And you can do whatever you want to them. These are yours. If you want to add some lines or color streaks or whatever, you can do that even before you start the what I'd call almost as wood lathe work look to these things. Okay, let this round in. Oop, this one needs to be a little bit longer. There we go. Pretty. Now again, I'm not going to do anything more to that. I'm going to blow the tip off of this baby and put a loop on the top of it. Losing my grip on things. If you have an idea or a question that you'd like to ask me, go ahead. Um, because at this point, if you can't come up with anything, I guess I could do another Christmas ornament real quick. Maybe a miniature angel. I don't know. Why not? If that sounds good, say yay or nay or whatever. Now what I'm going to do is basically put a loop on the top of this. And to put a loop, all I do is just put a loop or bail or whatever you want to call it. Touch it too, pull it off, seal it up. And then take graphite rod. Can you do a snowflake pendy? Yeah, why not? That sounds like a deal. Like I said, now is the time to ask. That would be interesting. Let's see if we can make it look nice. Because you got to do symmetry throughout the whole thing, and you got to make 6 of the same all the way around. Okay, and I do have, oh yeah, I have some white to make the snowflake out of. And I'm also going to put, because it's mine, a little blue ball on the very, very bottom of this thing. Ready, set, go. Round it in, and we got a miniature Christmas ornament. Here we go. Now, tweezers, never around when you want them. Tap, fire polish, and that one's done. Okay, snowflake pindy. Let's see if we can do it justice. Ugh. Might even be a little bit on the delicate side, but you'll get the hint. 'Tis the season. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, that's for sure. It is one of my favorite times of the year. I have been known, especially in the past, and I will do it this year too. Um, my fellow workers there at Walmart, I give away uh, some of my artistic Christmas ornaments this time of year. Okay, what I'm going to do is basically flare this out. Actually, I'm going to blow it and flare it out. Okay. Uh, There we go. Let's see if I can make this even. Look halfway decent. Even if I don't, I'll be able to correct it later on. You could also do this with just doing a flat Maria on a table surface. Matter of fact, if this doesn't go to the way I like it, real quick, I might go to that method. Now, 6-pointed star. Why it has 6 points? That's just snow. It's the way it is. Nature is. They're making a water crystalline structure. Oops. Trying to adjust the flame and it blew itself out. There we go. Now, I was reaching for and did that. What people don't understand is it's about giving, not getting what you want. Yeah, it's true. And you can catch me in the middle of July sometimes saying Merry Christmas to people, and they're going, and Happy New Year to you too. But you know, if people had the spirit of Christmas year round, this place would be a lot better off. Okay, first of all, this is a pair of scissors, just simple scissors, and heat and clip until you get the 6 petals that you need done. Now, if this was a flower, you'd only need 5, but since it's a snowflake, you're going to need 6. 1, 2. There's 3. Let's see if I can get 3 more out of this. I think so. There's 4 and 5, 6. Yeah, I got it. Under control. Now you're looking at this and saying, hey, these don't look that straight. This is where learning to manipulate glass comes in. Okay, we're going to make this into a point. So it gets its point across. There you go, there's 1. Here comes 2. And of course you go around and make all 6. It's easier to make if you're doing an octopus and only put on 6 legs, making the hexapus instead. But sooner or later, somebody's going to start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, you missed a few legs there, man. But and again, if you're making a 5-point in something, that's even easier because you only need 5 points. Okay, here goes. We will equal all of these out. This was just to get going in the right direction of having 6 going on here. There we go. They're not all that even, but again, make sure that you've got 6 of them. Then you'll add a little bit to this one that's really, really thin. Whatever you do to the other 6, you've got to do to, the other one, you got to do the other 5. Any of them, you got to make it look symmetrical. And let's do some tweezer work and straighten these out a little bit. This won't be the best star in the world because, again, I'm shooting from the hip here, telling you how to do this, but it gives you a direction to go in. Let you know that anything's possible. You just got to put your mind to it. And all of the stuff that I do, it's just to give you a direction. It's not written in stone. You know how that can be. Press it in. If you want to chime in the chat room, that'd be a great thing. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Yeah. I am watching and reading that. That's the one thing I do not like about Google Hangouts like this, or the chat room in YouTube, is that as soon as it goes off the air, people cannot read what people were talking about in the live chat room, which is, I think, a shame because in some respects, when you do these uh, live shows, you are part of the actual show. You are input. You are chatting. You are expressing yourself and giving. Anyway, neither here nor there. Maybe I'll record my screen and put that up one of these times just to let people see what people are saying in the chat rooms at the time. Okay, I'm going to go through these petals one more time and put points to them, and then I'm going to start adding a little bit more to each one of these. And this is where the fun comes in, because you got to, whatever you do to the one, you got to do to every single other one so that it's the crystalline structure that it can be. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're going to put 2 points on each side here. And I'll add more structure to the edges of these. Can you hold up to the camera real quick? Sure, sorry. Um, Again, this is not a perfect six-pointed star, but again, whatever you do to the one, you got to do to all the others. I am trying to read what people are asking in the chat room. Sorry about that. There are some times that I do get carried away with what I am doing and not look up, but I do try to look up from time to time. You know how that is, right? Right. And even these snowflakes that come down and you look at them, there's no two alike, and it just adds more structure to them. It's all crystalline. This one can be a little bit more centered now that I look at it. And it's to your own, I guess you could say, your own judgment of what you do to these things, whether you feel like you're doing them justice or not. I'll have to admit this is the first snowflake that I've really done. But you know what? This is another thing that you've got to realize too is that, I put these two together, but in the regular structure that they come up with in in the snowflake, you'll often see gaps like this that I'm doing between these snowflakes, these petals at the moment, or star points, and it is what you make of it. It is your own personal design that you add to, and it can be as big as or as small as you want it to be. There you go. There's one point. Bring that out a little bit further. And shortly after this, I think I'm going to call it quits on this snowflake. I know in some respects, and you might get some ideas at what you would like to do is by, doing that thing how you make paper stars with, how you'd fold it several times and then just clip out some spots and then pull it out and you'll see what the pattern comes out looking like. And with that would give you some ideas on maybe doing your own snowflake star. These are just ideas that I'm coming up with as I'm speaking to you, and I'm just that way, full of it. That is ideas. Haha. Dinner time. We'll watch the rest later. Thanks, Eagle, for showing up. I do appreciate it. And bon appetit if you're from North Carolina, but if you're the rest of the country, it's bon appetit. Okay. And again, I just this is all, but you got to do it symmetrical. You've got whatever you add to the one petal, you've got to add to all the others in some respect, and it doesn't have to be perfect because even the crystalline structure that comes up, or the pattern that comes up in the crystalline structure, is not perfect either, but it gives you that six-sided, ready to go look. See, there you go. And you know what? I'm going to basically heat this up and flatten it down to a flat surface. And I am going to call that quits. Flatten it down a little bit. And you got to heat this up even, just like you're putting it. You don't want to destroy what you've already accomplished. And I can already see that this side needs to be stretched out a little bit compared to the other sides. It's still basic. You're just heating and nudging is the best way to describe that. Like you've got all this stuff and you're only heating and pulling in the middle of it. And it's working. It's again, it's not perfect, but I like where it's gone. I really do. And with that, I think I'm going to call this, where is that one that I just, oh, there it is. Basically a loop. Melt it off. But again, you could add more layers, the same idea, whatever you want to do to it. Crystalline structure. If you want to look at some snowflakes and from, pictures and stuff, that might give you some inspiration on what you got to do. Um, the only thing that stops you is your own imagination and your own geometry in your brain. And I do have some problems with my geometries at times, as you can see. Again, it's not perfect, but it gives you, I don't think this is going to be a pendant thing, but it's definitely going to be a Christmas ornament for somebody's tree. Okay. And I could have made it white, but I'm not going to. There we go. Yeah. Still needs a little bit nudge in this direction here. This is where you can make or break a piece, is what I call it, where you sit there and say, yeah, a little bit to this side, yeah, a little bit to this side, and yeah, a little bit to that side, and then you, darn. You got to learn when to say when, and I'm going to say when, right here, right now. Um, let's do a cold weld right about, probably regret that, near the middle. Let it round into itself. Seal it in really well. I'm going to leave that for support. Looking really good. Okay, now I'm going to put a loop on the top of this thing. And again, it is kind of delicate. You could probably wear it 1 or 2 times if you made it into a pendant. But if you made it stronger, it would last a little longer. Most of the time I do. I do build things with me in mind because I'm a klutz to begin with. But sometimes, especially if you've never done one before, and I will have to admit this is the very first snowflake that I have ever done, but I enjoy you guys' challenges. And without them, I don't think I'd be half the artiste that I could be. And you know me, if I make a mistake, you see me make a mistake and you see me correct the mistake. I don't like to just, cut, we're going to make it out again and do it over until you guys see it right the first time. No, 9 times out of 10, what you see is what I got. And with that, I think we're going to call this show quits and tap that off and fire polish it. Yep. Got a little bit more of it. Whoa. We'll live with that. And as you can see, and if you did something like this with Illuminati, talk about cool. That black, matter of fact, I might just come up with that and do that. Do an Illuminati uh, star, uh, not star, but snowflake pattern. Um, with that, let me switch over to the other camera and say my fond farewells, as it were. Yeah, it's here in North Carolina. It's in the lower 50s and upper. Well, it's in the 40s right now, I think. So you can see my breath showing up. It's starting to get a little cooler in the nighttime, and uh, as you know, I am thankful for you guys being there. I'm thankful for the chance that I have to be a part of your lives. And if you have questions, if something's stumping you and you might want a personal question of that, you can do me a message at um, with with Facebook and Messenger is a good way to get a hold of me. Um, yeah, you're from Virginia. You're feeling my pain. Well, actually, it's probably worse in Virginia than it is here, and that's the way it is. My wife moved from where she's at to Upper Michigan area, and an hour more further north, and she got there and it was just the beginning of September, and saying, "Oh, this is cold." And I said, "Well, let's see, you moved an hour further north. Whose fault is that?" Anyway, thanks for being there, and as always, carpe vitro, and enjoy your day. Also, if you have questions, comments, click like, click subscribe. No, click like over there, that button there, over there, that button. Click like or click subscribe, and also click notice. And, that way, if you want to see me live, you can see those a little bit better too. Thank you, and as always, oops, and as always, enjoy your day. So, bye for now.